Okay guys, so I'm going to go through this pretty quickly and explain all my work. Sorry, I made some alterations. This is just my original copy. So for number one, I take Cl2 and I'm adding Li to it. So this is synthesis because you're only making one product. And I need to cross my charges. Oh, and it's 1A, by the way, because I don't have water in my reactants. So I'm going to take Cl and I need to cross Li and Cl. So the charge of Li is +1. The charge of Cl is -1. So I get LiCl. Now, notice, guys, I don't put ClLi because you always have to put your positive before your negatively charged ion. So it's LiCl. And then I balance because there's a 2 here, so I need to put a 2 up front and then a 2 in front of Li. Next one, this is decomposition, and specifically it's a 2B, which I need you to write. So your two products for that are a metal oxide and CO2. So I put CO2 here. And my metal here is Na, so I'm going to cross Na, which has a +1 charge, with oxygen, which has a 2- charge. So when you cross your charges, 2 here and a 1 here, you get Na2O. And that happens to already be balanced. Number 3, if you notice, you have a metal oxide and water as your products. So this is going to be a 2D. Guys, you should realize that this is a base. So this whole reaction is the exact opposite of a 1B, which is a metal oxide plus water gives you a base. So if you ever forget what a base is made up of, just look at 2D and go, oh yeah, of course, it's metal and hydroxide. So for here, guys, I don't know the charge of copper if I look at the periodic table, but looking here, I see it has a 2- charge right here, and there's therefore, for this entire compound to have no charge, Cu would have a +2 charge. Okay, so I'm going to take Cu and cross it with OH. So Cu is 2+, OH is -1, so it's CuOH2. Notice I remembered my parentheses. If you don't remember your parentheses, balancing is going to be impossible, so make sure you have your parentheses. And it's already balanced, which is very lucky. All right, the next one, I see I make a base, OH. So this is going to be a synthesis reaction. I take two things and make one, but it's going to be a 1B. So one of the things, so the two reactants I need are metal oxide and water. I already have water here. So I need to cross PB and O. Now, I don't automatically know what the charge of PB is. So I'm going to look here. I've got a 2 there. Hydroxide is -1, so this is a total of -2. So PB is +2. So it would be PbO, because it's Pb2O2. And I get rid of the 2, so it's just PbO. Number 5, this is an acid. Anything that starts with an H is an acid. So what I'm going to do, remember, for 1C and 2F, you balance as you go. So my two products are water, here's my water, and then a non-metal oxide. Now your non-metal will always be the one in the middle, so that's my sulfur. So I'm going to balance as I go. So I have 1S, and here I've got 4 O's. I've got 1 O here, which means I need 3 here, so it's SO3. Okay. For 6, I've got a metal oxide and water, so automatically in your head you should be thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to be a 2D as well. I'm going to cross my metal with OH. My metal is Na. My OH has a -1 charge. My Na has a +1 charge, so it's just NaOH. And I didn't balance this. I'm sorry. Notice I have 2 Nas here. I need a 2 up front here. And then there will be 2 O's, 2 O's, 2 H's, 2 H's. Awesome. Next, AlClO3,3. So if you look at your products, this is going to be a 2E. I need to cross Al and Cl, and then O2 is my other product. So when I cross Al and Cl, Al has a +3 charge, Cl has a -1 charge. So when I cross, the 3 goes there and the 1 goes there, so it's AlCl3. Balancing is a pain in the butt. What I would recommend doing is saying, oh my gosh, I have 9 O's here. Everything else is balanced except for my O's, right? 1 Al, 3 Cl's. So this needs to be 9/2 or 4.5 here for this to be 9, because 4.5 times 2 is 9. I can't leave it as a decimal, so I need to multiply everything by 2. So a 2, and a 9. Next one, 8 is a 1A because I'm taking two separate things and combining it to make one. So I have Ag, I have AgCl, so I need Cl as my other thing. Remember, Cl is diatomic. Remember that 7 on the periodic table. NOF, Cl, Br, I, and H. All that means, guys, when they're by themselves like this, when they're by themselves, they need a 2 behind them. That's it. Don't forget about charge. It doesn't mean they have a 2 charge or anything like that. It just means when they're by themselves, they need a 2 behind them. Okay. The next one is a 2C. So I'm going to have 3 products, H2O, CO2, which are easy to write. And then I need to combine my metal, which is Li, with oxygen. Now, Li has a +1 charge. Oxygen has a 2- charge. So when I cross my charges, I get Li2O. And then you need to balance. I've got 2 LIs here, so I'm going to put a 2 here. Now I have 2 H's, 2 C's, so I need to put a 2 in front of CO2. And then if you count out O's, you end up with 6 on both sides. 10 is a 2D. You're taking a base and breaking it down. So I need to cross my metal with oxygen, so it would be Na2O because oxygen has a 2 minus, it says a 1 plus, and then your other one your other product is water. So I need a 2 in front of here to balance that out, otherwise I'm great. Okay. 11 is a 1C. How I know that? This is an acid. So if I'm making an acid, taking two things to combine it together, it's going to be a 1C. Remember, 1C and 2F are the ones that you balance as you go. So I have water already. I need to put my nonmetal and my oxygen now. For my nonmetal, I have 1C here, so I'm going to have 1C here. And I need 3 O's. Well, I've already got 1 here, so I'm going to put a 2 there. So it's CO2. 12. 12 is a 2B. Okay, so it's going to make a metal oxide and CO2. There's my CO2. My metal is Ca with a +2 charge. Oxygen has a 2 minus, so the 2's cancel, and it's just CaO, and it's already balanced. 13 is a 1C. I have a nonmetal oxide and water together. When they combine together, they make an acid. Remember, an acid, the order, it's hydrogen, then your nonmetal, then oxygen. So you have H2 right there, then your sulfur, and then O. There's 1 here, there's 2 here, so 3. Okay. For 1B, it's CS2O plus H2O. I need to make, this is a 1B, I need to make a base. Remember, a base is just a metal crossed with hydroxide. The charge of CS is 1. Okay, you can either look at the periodic table or say, okay, I've got 2 CS's. Oxygen has a -2 charge, which means all of CS needs +2. Each of them needs +1 because of the 2 right there. So I'm going to cross CS and OH. It's just CSOH, and then I need to balance, so I put a 2 out front. The last one's super easy. I don't know why I was this nice. CaO, this is 1B, a metal oxide plus water gives you a base. So you just write water. Okay, and that was it. Email me, guys, if you have questions. Otherwise, you need to take your quiz on the day of your next class period. Okay, and make sure you can't do it during class. You need to do it on your free time if you didn't do it during the class time when you're supposed to.